Glad to have you back. It is still Newspaper Review on High Impact Television. Right now, we have our guest joining us via phone call in person of Adejumo Babatunde Rufai to talk about some of these issues and more. Good morning, Babatunde Rufai, and thank you for joining us on the review.
Good morning, Nigerians. Good to be here live with you.
All right. So let's begin with what we have, majorly on the papers this morning. Now, earlier on, Krumale and I were talking about the defections, consensus candidates, and the issues we see around defections and selecting a consensus candidate in the political climate in Nigeria. And it was important to note that all of this falls back to an ideological problem within the political parties we have in Nigeria. How do you react to this?
Good morning, Nigerians, once again. The issue of the consensus and all the sections that have been happening within the political parties, I said the last time I was on your show, I said this is a season, we're getting more of this at this period. It's normal and it's the norm. So Nigerians should be expecting cross-carpeting and defections, so to say. But the issue of consensus, most of these political parties have been pushing for consensus candidates that let us have one person to present so that it will not divide the political party more. But practically, this is practically impossible, because Nigerians believe they have the capacity and the capability to rule this nation. And as you can see, since 1999, you see that political parties have been going for primaries, either direct, indirect, and the issue of consensus has never come in. But now, going to 2020 elections, political parties are now pushing that let us have a consensus candidate so that it will not divide the party more. But this is practically impossible, because everybody believes that they have the capacity and the capability to rule the nation. But as it is, talking about the two major political parties in Nigeria, the PDP and the APC, PDP now are gunning for a northern candidate, pushing for a consensus northern candidate, while APC is trying to get a consensus southern candidate. You can see, and as it stands now, there are over 15 persons from the both political parties that are contesting for the #1 seat of the Federation. And 15% contesting for a slot, and you ask them to step down for one another, it should be practically impossible. Let's talk about it in the PDP. Now, the last time they had an elders forum meeting, the meeting, let me put it straight to Nigeria, is not a PDP elders forum meeting. It is a Northern Elders Forum meeting. Okay. And I think that spot, the Northern Elders Forum, shouldn't be partisan. If you say you're an elders forum, you shouldn't be partisan. Either they bring you a consensus from Party A, or from PDP, or from APC. Now you are gunning for a consensus candidate from PDP, a consensus northern candidate from PDP. That shows that they are now partisan. And other contestants from that same political party are now saying, well, they are not recognized within their political party, so rather they are just doing exercise. Probably they're just taking out their time. Elders sometimes need to take out their time and discuss some issues, but it's not the decision of the PDP.
All right.
So the same thing is happening in APC as well. They are also gunning for a consensus candidate, but those who are willing to buy the form now say, you can see Amici now has over 1.1 billion donated equally. Same thing. Ashwadi Bola Ahmed Tinubu, over 10 billion donated for him to run. You can see that now, if you have donors now pushing you forward to go and contest. You won't want to disappoint those donors and say, okay, I have stepped down for this, I have stepped down for that. So everybody wants to go. Let them go. Okay. Let's see how they can make it at the end of the day.
All right, Mr. Babatunde, thank you for your input. Now let's look at it from a different perspective. That, whoever is gunning for the position of the #1 post of a country should have a plan, should have a blueprint, and shouldn't be, be pacified by someone from the same political parties to step down. That means he or she is subjecting his vision that he has for the country to the interest of someone else, which is such person should never be given the opportunity to govern, because this is a country, not your family at home. Now let's move away. This is the political leadership recruitment process in Nigeria. Don't you think convention candidacy makes mockery of the leadership recruitment process in the country, and it will not help the different political parties to provide or produce the most viable and virile candidate that should take up the affairs of the country?
Absolutely. I think what we're missing here in Nigeria is that it is a party that we are voting for, not an individual. No, the individual might have some credibility, the individual might have some integrity. It is the party that will now go out and recruit somebody who has integrity, who has credibility. The party first must present his manifesto. It is on this ideology, it is on this on the basis of the manifesto that the party will now present somebody who can fit into that manifesto to deliver the dividends of democracy to the ordinary citizens of Nigeria. But in this case, people are not going for individuals who are older, sometimes in position of power, or just coming out, but very influential. It is the party manifesto that has to work. It is the party manifesto that has to deliver the dividends of democracy to Nigerians.
Most times, Mr. Babatunde, sorry to interrupt you there. Most times, most politicians who promise heaven and earth whilst campaigning, they actually churned out those promises from the political parties' manifestos. And at the end of the day, not even 35% of what they promised have been executed whilst they spent either 4 or 8 years in office. And this is another thing that can be tied to the leadership recruitment process in the country, in the political space. So how can Nigerians and the electorates, hold these people accountable by way of law or statutory implications to make sure that they say what they say what they do, and they do what they say?
You see, the problem we're having within our political space is that you cannot be the head of government and be the head of the party. The party is supposed to be a supreme entity.
I see.
Why the government is supposed to be headed by the person who the party has presented. Now, the party now will transfer its power to the head of government. Now, the number one leader of APC now is President Muhammadu Buhari. The number one leader of APC in Lagos is Babajide Olusegun. Ordinarily, it's not supposed to go like that. There are party hierarchies. There are party leadership who presented the president, who presented the governor. But now you are giving the power because they are now in power, because they've been elected to be number one citizen either at the state level or at the federal level. You're not throwing the power of the party to them. All the political parties made this mistake, and they need to correct themselves. Because you cannot give somebody who wants to head government. You want to ensure that there is water, there is road, there is hospital, there is transportation, there is this, there is that. But at the same time, you want to take care of the party. It is the party that now needs to look like what do they call it in the media parlance now? Like a watchdog.
Okay.
The government.
Okay.
They're supposed to be one putting their eyes down that, they are complaining about civil things that we are not providing adequate security. How do we make sure that we do? Okay, now, Mr. Governor, Mr. President, please watch this side, look at this side. But you cannot talk to the governor again. You cannot talk to the president again because he's not the number one leader of that party. Now Nigerians now need to assist these political parties because percentage of the political party membership compared to the electorate is just about 10%. So we can still hold them to do the needful.
All right.
We can still make sure that we call their attention to do the needful because it's not everybody that is a card carrying member of a political party. But because the party itself has shown out its leadership to the sitting president, to the sitting governor, that has been the reason why the party is falling back on its manifesto. Because you need somebody to serve as watchdog, nobody to correct them, nobody to put them on their toes, nobody to tell them you are not doing it right.
Okay.
So that is just the issue now, because Nigerians need to take over that position from the political. Since the political party is not ready to call their what's it called now?
Their representatives.
Power
Yes.
to order. Let members of the public call them to order.
All right. So talking about members of the public calling them to order, now what measures or what is the most appropriate channel will this be able to be achieved, considering the fact that there's quite a wide gap between Nigerians, that is those at the grassroots level, and these political parties and those in power. So if we're saying Nigerians have to take up the responsibility, that they are now saddled with the responsibility to call out these political parties to do the needful, what are the measures or how can these be achieved, considering the gap between the two parties, that's the Nigerians and the political parties?
What Nigeria needs to do now is that Nigeria has so many media platforms that can be used. And thank God for the Twitter, thank God for the Instagram, thank God for the Facebook. If you cannot reach them via letter writing, if you cannot reach them via any other means, you can reach them through your social media handles. The governor is on social media. The president is on social media. The council chairman are on social media. You can write to them. You can speak to them. You can just advise them, because leadership, the way Nigerians look at leadership is quite different. You see, many of those who assume the position of leadership does not even go for leadership training. We need to give them leadership training. Sometimes they see corrections as criticism.
Most times.
Sometimes they see corrections as criticism, which corrections are just a measure of bringing you back on your track, not misleading, not condemnation, but they see it as probably they are misleading, they are condemning them, but it's just a measure of ensuring that you are on track. If you do it well, it's your own glory. If you don't do it well, you face the consequences. But Nigerians, if you are correcting, even if it is in the Bible and it's in the Quran, when you want to correct your leaders, the moment they assume that position, God asks us to give them the ultimate support and the respect they required, having assumed that position. If you want to correct them in a manner that they will not see it as if you are condemning them.
Okay.
Look at this.
Okay.
Governor is not doing this, is not doing that, and you expect us to come and vote for you confidently. You meet us there. They will also go and devise medium to ensure that by the time they are coming back in the next election, they know what you will want and they give it to you the way you wanted it.
Okay.
So now instead of we correcting them, like I just tell them, Mr. Governor, Mr. President, I don't know that you have done quite right, but there are some areas you still need to focus your attention. Okay, before this particular road gets damaged to an extent that it will cause a lot of havoc or disaster to the countrymen, you can decide to just please kindly efforts put in your machinery to just pass the road. A measure of palliative will go a long way for the people. You can see that you have given him options of palliative.
Wow.
You yield to your request and come to arrest you because.
Okay, Mr. Babatunde, I beg, Mr. Babatunde, sorry, Mr. Babatunde, let me come in again. We are trying to get as much as possible into this discourse before the time is exhausted. Let me take you back to the point you made earlier. You talked about the party structure and the structure of government, even though the party produced whoever is the head of government, either at the federal or at the state level. And that the party was supposed to, serve as a check to the leader of the government to make sure that the manifestos are implemented. And in the case where the political party refused to do that because it has subjected its leadership or its structure, its responsibilities to the political leader, in that case, the opposition political party serve as a watchdog and criticize the administration if it is not working in accordance with the demands and the dictates of the people, or if it's not fulfilling the promises it made earlier. Don't you think that will serve as a deterrent to the political leaders to up the ante and to do the needful?
Come again in a short time without your question. Are you talking about the opposition party now taking advantage of that?
Yes, taking advantage of that, calling the attention of the, playing their role as an opposition.
When two people are slugging out, fighting for the same thing, there is no how the criticism will not be too harsh on one another. They will not advise themselves to do the needful.
But we cannot consider harshness, Mr. Babatunde. We cannot consider harshness. This is politics, and let's say for a country like Nigeria with over 200 million people.
You know the way politics is being played in this part of the world. You know politics in this part of the world. Let me tell you this. Let me bring you back to memory lane.
Okay.
Just in 2018, when the former governor of Lagos State, Akin Yambode. Are you with me?
Yes, please.
Just in 2018, when Governor Akin Yambode was taken out of office, I was not given a return ticket to Lagos State government. You could see with the names he was calling the incumbent governor. If you could remember vividly, he said the incumbent governor has been taken to psychiatric and he has a record that that. It is shared, that is within the same political party. Okay, if you not give it to opposition to criticize me or to serve as your watchdog, no, opposition will never serve as watchdog. Because they want to take over power from you.
Okay.
They will start as
Mr. Babatunde, let's see that as mudslinging and not criticism or constructive criticism. One of the benchmarks or one of the principles of democracy is criticism. The absence of criticism almost defeats the principle and the purpose of democracy. So if an opposition political party is calling the attention of the public and of the incumbent governor or president, as the case may be, that you are not fighting insecurity the way you should be, you are not providing employment opportunities for the people of the country, the economy has been beaten and battered to the ground, I think they are playing a reasonable role, and whichever political party that is on the saddle at that moment should stand up to its responsibilities.
Yeah, like I used to see on many platforms, there's an opposition will tell you, will criticize an incident, and the incident will not trade back at them. Look at what in Nigeria now. If you tell President Muhammad Buhari that the insecurity under his watch is not being resolved, he will tell you this is what he said from the opposition party. And he's just spending just 7 years in office, compared to an opposition who has spent 16 years. That's just a way of defending himself, but it shows that if somebody has not done it well, I will bring you to come and correct the mess. And we are you see, those who are going to correct those in government are those who have formed that government. The political party should stop giving the leadership of the party to the government. The person in power. It's not democratic. It's not democratic. Parties should be different from government. Though a party will form a government, but the moment you form a government, those who form that government should stay and watch that government to succeed, because they know what they have put to paper as manifesto. They have to be the one reminding the government that this is our manifesto. This is where we campaign. It is not the person who is coming in now, who is coming in as a government, either as a president, as a governor, or as a local government chairman, that drafted that manifesto. It is the party hierarchy, it is the party leadership that drafted the manifesto, so they know what they are putting. The only thing they did is to look for a credible, reliable, and resourceful candidate to fill in that gap so that he can concentrate on the party manifesto. If you allow opposition to begin to take advantage of you, work on your party government, work on those who are put in government, advise them adequately. But the case here is a reverse case in Nigeria, because those who form the government have handed over the power of the party to the government. Okay. And I know the reason why.
Right. Okay, so...
the reason, are you with me?
Yes,
the reason is just because the party does not have money to continue to fund the party activities. So they needed resources from the government. Okay. Now, what they needed to do is the party has money. Look at it now. Yeah. APC will be selling its form by tomorrow for 100 million naira for president. Right. And so they have 15 candidates. Slugging that 15 aspirants, so to say, slugging that for the number one position. 15. Okay, 100 million times 15.
So, Mr. Babatunde, let me come in here now. Talking about the APC nomination form that you just talked about, and talking about how the opposition party, criticizes the ruling party and all of that. If you recall very clearly, last week when the ruling party pegged his nomination form at 100 million naira, the opposition party fired and criticized the ruling party in regards to the amount that has been pegged on it. Considering the fact that the opposition party placed theirs at the sum of 40 million naira, and in regards to that, the opposition party delayed the sale of they extended the sale of their forms to see if there will be defectors from the ruling party to the opposition party. Now, this morning, there have been calls from civil organizations and Nigerians for the EFCC to probe any individual or anybody that goes ahead to, purchase the ruling party's nomination form. How do you react to this?
Well, you can't tell a landlord how much he's going to put out his apartment for rent. He can't determine the price of the cost of putting out an apartment for rent. It depends on what the landlord has put into that apartment. If you are using a Gerard roofing, you are using a POP, you are putting AC, you are putting other facilities, probably you have television there already, you have fans there already, well painted, well furnished. You don't expect chef's house or apartment to go for the same amount, an apartment of probably no fans, no chairs, it's not even painted. So go for the same amount. I'm just using that as an illustration. Okay. But if there's a call for EFCC to prove all the position of the parties showing their form above estimated or above what's it called now, that's left to the party though. They know what they are putting into their party for them to go as high as 100 million. As you look at the caliber of people who are contesting for the number one seat within that party, you could know that there are people who could afford even if it is 1 billion. Even they say that even so that 1 billion they will afford it. And now look at the new antics that are being played out here. The party now, the candidate, the aspirants now are now having international donors, are now having local donors. The moment they put out the cost of the sales of Trump for 100 million, a political caucus signed a check of 100 million immediately. I don't want to mention names. A political caucus signed a check of 100 million for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And other people are also spreading that and no, we are going to give Asiwaju the opportunity to run even without his own money. And now people are now donating. As at the last time I checked, the amount has been donated for Asiwaju. I was seeing figure over 10 billion. Local currencies. International donors are also doing the same thing. That's to tell you that even if the fund is set at 1 billion, so we still purchase. And if you ask EFCC to start proving them, they will tell you they never had this money in their own purse. People donated for them, and which is an international practice. That you launch a dinner to solve for funds to contest an election.
All right, we are sure that we believe that, despite this calls by Nigerians and civil society organizations, the ruling party would come out to react to this. That's as much as we can take on the review this morning with you, Babatunde Adejumorufai. Thank you so much for joining us on Newspaper Review.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Bless you.
Do enjoy the rest of your day.